Coffee, episode 5.
Woo!
We are excited to be here. Probably the latest we have ever started recording a podcast.
That's my bad.
But it's all of our bads, really.
Technically, I was the one who was like, can we push this back to Friday?
Yeah.
So, blame it on me.
I would have been game to do it real soon if we had done it Thursday, but
yeah.
Instead we are doing it Friday. More actually Saturday.
More Saturday
It is now
morning.
very early Saturday morning, and we are here recording Comics and Coffee. But that's neither here nor there. Starting on my left, we have
Mitch.
Jake.
and I am, as always, Andrew, here to talk about comics and all of the bullshit that surrounds them, per usual. So, fellas, how you been? We got some comic talk
It's been a good week.
going on.
Saga's good.
Saga is good. Jake and I started reading Saga, I mean, you started more earlier than this week.
I read the first 2 issues whenever they first came out, but then I didn't follow it.
Yeah.
And then I got the trade 3
How
weeks
long ago did it come out? Saga's been going for a while.
It's on issue 17 right now, but they had a break because Brian K. Vaughn and Fiona Staples, they got busy.
Oh, okay.
And I don't remember how long the break was, but there was
when
a
you
break.
say that Brian and Fiona got busy.
You did this hand gesture
that
implied something.
They had... I can't. There's literally no other way to phrase it.
Elastigirl?
And got basic!
So, in terms of, time-wise, I'm not sure, because I don't remember how long that break was. But they're on issue 17,
okay.
I believe. But
18
first
comes out on the
2
29th.
Yeah, and the first 2 trades collect, I think, through 12, is it?
Through 12, yes.
Yeah.
That's pretty
And
good.
it's so fucking good.
It is really rad. I read both trades this week, and I don't know what took me so long. I know what took me so long. It's that I fucking hate sci-fi. Or I don't hate it, but it means nothing to me. Space, great.
You've been saying it's super sci-fi at first.
It is mega sci-fi.
It really is. It really
And
it does a lot of world building in the early issues, so it's really, really heavy for people who aren't into oh, that's so neat. Tell me more about this crazy, fucked up world.
Gotcha.
I don't care. I'm just in it for the characters. But
then I eat that shit up, so I'm like, tell me more.
once you get past that world, that heavy, heavy world building in the first couple issues, it really does start to just be about the characters.
Yeah.
Which is
what good stories should be about.
Yeah, and it really reminds me of Brian K. Vaughn's other super notable work, Why the Last Man, in that in the first couple issues, it sets up this crazy fucking scenario. I mean, it's obviously not sci-fi, but in the same boat, it's take everything you know and totally flip the script. Every man on Earth is dead except this guy and his monkey.
Yeah.
It does its world building in that sense, but then once that sets up, you've got Yorick and his companions that he ends up with by the end of issue 5 or 6. And then the book is really about them going forward and whatever other characters intersect with them. So that's kind of what Saga, I've noticed, has done kind of the same thing. It does its first couple issues of crazy fucking world building, and then once you get into that world and immerse yourself in it and get to know the characters, it really becomes their book, and you just get interested in what the characters are doing, and they can a little more slowly ease you into the crazy sci-fi stuff, like the rocket tree.
I love the rocket tree, though. It's here to help. It's a nice tree.
I like it a lot, but it is weird.
I need to check it out.
It also had, at least for me, it has literally the best pacing I've ever read in a comic book.
Really?
It's it is the 5-issue story arcs. They go by fairly quick. There are, exactly what's going to be resolved in the story arc as soon as they mention it. You're like, that's something that's going to be done by the end of these 5 issues. And you also know things that are going to be still overarching.
Yeah.
So, for example, they set up one story in issue 6. They set up, or 7. It's 6 or 7.
6 or 7.
Yeah, whatever volume 2 starts with. They set up. There's one storyline they set up literally right at the end of it, and you're like, that's really unfortunate because that's going to happen really soon. And I don't want to spoil it because, again, it's...
I'd rather you don't. If you can,
exactly.
I actually really want to read it.
Yeah.
Because I heard it's cool.
But no, I agree. The pacing, it moves along at a very good clip. It doesn't drag. It reminds me a lot of, again, Why the Last Man is a lot like that, though Y has... It took Y a while to get to a point where it started to drag. Saga hasn't gotten that far.
Yeah. Which, admittedly, Saga hasn't gone on as long as Y did yet.
So, because, I don't know, Why the Last Man probably finally started slowing down a bit in its 30s or 40s before picking up again at the end. So, I mean, Saga hasn't gotten that far, so maybe it'll drag at some point. But again, a lot like Brian K. Vaughan's other notable work, it's moving along at a really good pace. You never feel like, oh, let's just get on with it, you know. It's, if anything, you're moving by too fast. You're like, oh, shit, that's already happening. Oh, God, keep going. Kind of like The Walking Dead in that sense, too. The Walking Dead's another book that always moved along at a
I thought it had a good pace.
very, very good pace. But yeah, Saga's excellent.
And that
I'll check it out.
mentioning Walking Dead also brings up another thing that Andrew and I were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Image is a fucking powerhouse right now.
Yeah.
Image
They've got a
they
lot
have
of good
books.
books.
So many good fucking books. But it's weird because they have like this huge lineup of really awesome fucking books. And then everything else they're doing, it pretty much just fucking sucks.
Kind of.
Like, it's either very
It's either
mediocre
amazing
or terrible.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of middle ground.
No.
There's no like Catwoman's in there. You know, like, this isn't a great book, but it's not shit either.
Yeah, exactly.
I
It
read
has
a couple
its
issues of Catwoman a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Really? I didn't notice.
It's pretty
Mediocre.
It's about average.
Yeah.
It's an okay read, but there's better stuff,
There's
especially from DC.
There's a reviewer that just hates what they're doing with Catwoman right now.
Yeah.
He just thinks it's garbage.
Is he like one of those people who's like she's super over sexualized? Because she is.
That's one of his arguments. He has a lot of arguments, and he just thinks like where they're taking her and how they're writing her is. She's just like, this is just awful.
There's basically an obligatory half-naked Catwoman in every issue.
I've read a couple. I gave my sister like a trade, and I flipped through because that's what I do, and I was like, huh.
I mean, the art's good, so it's
Yes.
not bad to look at, but it's, you know.
Exactly.
I like to think that we on this show read comics for a little more than that. You know?
All I ever read is Power Girl.
Don't let me in.
Power Girl.
Power Girl and Zatanna.
I went to
Zatanna showed up in fucking Injustice this week.
Yeah?
Yeah, she's in the first issue of Injustice year 2.
That's awesome.
nice.
Yeah, do you guys mind if I spoil
No, please
that?
do.
No, go
All
for
right,
it.
okay.
I'm probably going to spoil.
Well, I went over the
Superhero.
events of Injustice Year 1 in the last episode, so this makes sense. So in the first issue of Injustice, first off, they do this great little thing where they do a flashback to a time when Green Arrow and Black Canary and Green Lantern were all kind of palling around after like Blackest Night, I think.
Sure.
And, you know, like, they're the best friends ever, and even though Hal's the third wheel of the bunch, he's like, you guys are the fucking greatest. And then it just, like, cuts straight to Ollie's funeral, because he's dead.
Yeah.
Because he's
And
dead.
so everyone's leaving, and it's just Black Canary and Hal left there, and she says to him, like, are you still really on fucking Superman's side after what he just did? And Hal's like, Superman's trying to save the world. A bad thing happened, but, he's in it for the right reason. She's like, fuck you. And, but anyway, then we shoot to like Batman is all like bedridden because his back's broken.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
And he's all like concerned, like Superman's going to find us. We
think
can't
he
hide
would've-
from Superman. And Alfred's like, oh no, it's cool. We are hiding from Superman. And like then they turn and like Zatanna's in the same room as they are.
Yeah.
And she's taken them to like
a different
place
dimension or
like
something.
outside of time and space where Superman can't get to them. Basically, a place where they can go where Batman can heal up.
hyperbolic time chamber.
And not get hunted down and put to death by Superman. So yeah, I don't remember.
Sounds like a court judgment. I sentence you to death by Superman.
Oh, God.
I know.
I'm trying to remember what other major events happened, but nothing's coming up at this very instance. But it's another good issue. Injustice
Good.
Year 2 is off to a
Did
good
it set
start.
up to like a good start for year 2?
Yeah, well, and like I said, the very first thing is that Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Black Canary, kind of building.
That's a good way to kick it off.
That was it's a really hard-hitting way to kick the thing off. Because it's like an instant reminder, like, hey, one of the coolest
These guys
is
were
dead.
great, and
These guys were great friends, and now that shit's gone.
Uh-huh.
Superman killed one
It's
and
all torn
divided the
apart.
friendship of the other two, and it's a very grim reminder. And at the same time, the flashback is a really great kind of like last hurrah for Green Arrow. He gets in a couple nice little quips as they are, and they fight off some douchebags who are hitting on Black Canary, and he like flicks a peanut off the table perfectly to hit a guy in the eye.
I love it.
Because he's
Green Arrow.
Yeah. Perfect aim.
So yeah, I really liked that book this week. The New Superior, I know you're dying to talk about.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
There's a lot of
The
fun
New
stuff.
Superior is excellent.
Double-sized, as you said.
Yes, it was nice because I was I felt like I hadn't had my fix of Superior in a long time because of the break, and we get a double-sized issue, and it really sets up everything. Before I go into that real quick, this is a spoiler. Not so much a spoiler. That Marvel has announced a handful of books coming up in April.
Yeah, they're open. They're public
Yes.
solicits. The issues are public.
Yes, and one of the issues is a brand new issue 1 of The Amazing Spider-Man, and it looks very much like Peter Parker in the old school Spidey costume. It's written still by Dan Slott.
There's a rad variant on it. Oh,
It's got a lot of cool
like that
variants.
blue-yellow one?
Yeah,
Oh.
I've seen it. It's fantastic.
so good.
And we all knew that the minute Peter died, he was
gonna-
coming back,
Yeah.
because that's what comic book history dictates. And Dan Slott got death threats when he did it the first time.
Because that's dumb.
Because so
Them, the death threat people. Not
yes,
the
I agree. But I fucking love Superior Spider-Man. Like, I love Peter Parker. You know, I'm happy to hear he's coming back, but it makes me really worried now what's going to happen with Superior Spider-Man. Like, they haven't announced, they haven't put any solicits or the cover of the last issue of Goblin Nation, which is what we're thinking is going to happen, or like that Pete's going to come back there. And this is a quick spoiler, at the end of the Venom arc, we do see the return of Peter's ghost.
His mind goes? Or
Yeah,
like
like the
his
mind
voice
ghost.
His like
Like the
mind,
mind ghost.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like the
alright.
same
The
guy
one
that
that-
was present in the early
Yeah,
Spirit
yeah,
issues before
yeah.
Doc Ock seemingly eliminated
Wasn't
him.
it the
Yeah.
last time we saw him, he was like climbing out of the...
That was what we all thought it was
Rave or
happening.
whatever, yeah.
Apparently, the next issue is going to explain how he is back,
Okay.
Yeah.
which I'm looking very forward to.
But it's
But-
been something. It's been close to 20 issues since last we saw
Yeah, it's been a while
Peter.
that we've seen
So
Peter.
it's
Yeah.
big that he's showing back up again and like, hey guys, not dead after
and how he
all.
shows up is actually really cool and important. Like,
Yeah.
this is the Venom arc. This is the last issue. Otto is running around in the symbiote costume, just full out like I am power. Like
Yeah.
I am saving the world, and literally like in the issue prior, Mary Jane finds out that Otto / Peter, whatever, has the symbiote.
Yeah.
So she's getting arrested for something they've been building up to because they're looking for Carly Cooper, who was Peter's.
Is she smoking weed with Carly Cooper?
No.
Is she arrested
Carly
for-
Cooper is now
for
a goblin.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She got kidnapped by
She
the
got kidnapped
Goblin
by
King.
Green Goblin.
Oh,
So
no.
he knows.
It's called the
And he
Goblin
doesn't
King?
know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he knows that something's up with, Spider-Man. That something's
Yeah.
wrong, but he doesn't quite know
Something
who it
is
is.
awry.
But, so she's like, you have one phone call, Mary Jane. She's like, okay. And so she calls the Avengers. Because Peter Parker gave her a number, like, in case
Yeah.
of emergencies. And she's like, he's got the symbiote. Oh,
In
no.
case I'm possessed by an evil
Yeah.
genius, here's a number for the
Here's a
Avengers.
number.
Call them so they can come kick some sense into me.
So basically, at the beginning of this issue, it's him as Venom, or the Superior Venom, as he's calling himself, and he
of
just
course.
starts fighting the Avengers, and is actually
he's winning.
winning.
And granted, it's not all of the Avengers.
No, it's like
6
6 or
4
7.
of them.
It's
4
like
or 5.
6 or 7. It's like it's
Wolverine.
Cap,
That sounds
Thor.
like the whole of the Avengers.
it's Cap, Wolverine, Thor, Black Widow,
Spider-Woman.
Spider-Woman.
So,
But
most of
Tony
the
Tony's not there. 'cause
Tony's not
Tony's
there,
trying to save Flash Thompson.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's fighting and he's winning. At some moment, his little spider minions show up to help as well. And then there's this really cool moment where Tony Stark shows up just out of armor. He's like, I can maybe beat you mentally. And Venom has it very much like, but if you're here, and then Iron Man punches him. And he's like, how the fuck did I didn't sense you with spider sense? And it pops open. He's like, I'm Flash. I still have some of the symbiote in me. And stuff.
Okay.
So the symbiote doesn't detect the symbiote.
Yeah.
Spider-Sense.
So this kind of causes like the symbiote to start completely taking control. It's like I am superior, and Otto's like, "Oh, I'm fuck." Yeah, like the tongue shows up, and he's like, "Oh no, the symbiote is bad. Who knew?" And so he's like,
even I can't control this motherfucker.
Oh no!
And so he's just like, I should be able to, with my iron will, I should be able to get it off. Because it's Otto. He's the one running around being like, I am superior. Like that's what he does. And so he's like trying, and he starts to fail, and he's like, I can't get it. And I was like,
I can't.
And then the symbiote slowly starts peeling away off him, and he's like, maybe I am doing it, yeah. And it's the ghost of Peter Parker literally pulling it off him, being like, okay,
this is on.
bullshit.
No,
I don't think
you're
so.
fucking wrong.
He's like, I am Peter Parker, I'm back, and I'm gonna do all this. And then Otto ends up being like, I guess I did stop it. And Pete's like, I gotta lay low for a while.
That hurt.
But that's for you, fans. And
He's
then-
still here.
Still here.
Wink.
And at the end of the issue, he kind of plays it off like, because the Avengers have been like, something's up with Peter
Oh,
Parker.
yeah.
He's
Not being
been
his
killing
normal, like,
people.
quippy.
He has minions and giant robot spider people running
And
around.
is just generally an asshole.
And he's even more of an
Yeah.
asshole. Like, as opposed to
Wow,
being a playful.
Spider-Man's kind of a dick.
Exactly. So the minute like he gets the symbiote off him, he's like, "Oh, my friends, thank you. I've had microscopic symbiote in me for months, and now I'm free."
Bullshit.
And
Bullshit.
the best part is like immediately, like they all go back to Avengers Mansion or wherever the fuck.
Yeah.
And Tony's like, "So did anyone buy that? Because I think that's pretty stupid."
And everyone's like, yeah, no, he's totally lying.
He like types in trying to find like those results of like finding the like Peter in him.
Yeah.
And he's like, all of this has been wiped by Spider-Man. We're bringing him in. We're the Avengers.
And the best part of that whole thing is before we cut to the Avengers, it's Peter going to like MJ.
Oh, yeah.
And being like, I'm sorry, I was possessed by the symbiote that whole time. Like, I swear I'm still a good guy. She's like, I knew it was still you deep down, Peter. And she like hugs him, and like he has a little mental monologue where he's like, great, if I've convinced her, I've surely convinced them all. And they're like Avengers Tower, and they're like, so that was bullshit. It's like for just a split second, you're like, oh shit, that motherfucker got off the hook again. And then it's like, nope, he's so screwed.
And we're all I'm super excited for Goblin Nation. There have been a whole bunch of rumors about what could happen. Some people are thinking they're just going to stick with Amazing and that's going to be it. A lot of rumors are saying that somehow we're going to have Amazing Spider-Man and Superior Spider-Man. I don't know how, but it's comics. They think of
Double
bullshit
Spider-Man.
like that all the time.
Clone speed.
Well, and we're
Peter
we're probably gonna have Miles in that universe soon as well.
We might.
too, so.
Well, they restarted Ultimates, so he
Yeah.
might stay in Ultimates.
Well, yeah, it'll be interesting to see it if they're.
I'm hoping they're-
Cataclysm hasn't released its final issue yet, has
No, there's still two
Okay.
left.
Yes.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Both,
And those are just
both
event
in the
titles,
Ultimate's
right?
Last Stand
Okay.
storyline, which is
The
the
best
best
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But another thing they're doing in the Superior book, they made Spider-Man 2099 stuck in the present.
Yes.
And he's
So
actually,
many Spider-Mans.
Yeah,
But if
talked
it's
to-
2099, I'm so okay with it.
Yeah, and they've been
29.
they wrote him really good in that arc.
Yeah.
So apparently he's going to make one of the covers in Goblin Nation has 2099 in it. So we're like, oh, good. He's not just going to sit on the sidelines being like, I got brought into here. You're going to see me a lot more. Just kidding. I'm not.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping one of the rumors is that the Superior book is going to keep going, but it's going to be 2099 starring
Yeah.
in it, which I'd be fine with.
Yeah, that's fine.
But there's a whole bunch of rumors what's going to happen. Some people think Scarlet Spider is going to become Superior. Some think somehow Doc Ock's going to keep going. Some people think it might be Miles still. Some people, I don't know what to believe. I don't care.
Let's just be thankful we have so many Spider-Men
Yes.
to choose from.
I talked to the
It's
guy.
almost like
at-
he's becoming his own set of X-Men.
I talked to the guy at Comic Cave, and he goes, "You know what's going to come next?" I'm like, "I don't know." And he goes, "We're going to get the League of Spider-Men." And I'm like,
I love that
"Maybe
motherfucker.
We might.
He
We
makes,
might.
He has this. The guy who runs Comic Cave has this.
Shout
awesome
out to Comic
humor.
Cave yet again."
Yeah, he has this awesome humor where like half the time he makes really bad jokes that are so bad they're
Yes.
funny, and the other time he makes genuinely hilarious jokes. So,
Wouldn't it be great if Sony, in their own insane sort of Batman Gambit kind of thing, tried to duplicate the success of the Avengers by just making a ton of different Spider-Man movies and then putting them all together in like one
See, I
like
think that's-
Spider-Man League movie?
I think that's what they're doing.
Well, no, because what they're doing is like doing like a bunch of just Spider-Man movies with the one Spider-Man they have, and like doing like maybe a Venom movie and like a Sinister Six movie.
See, that's six movies.
But yeah, what
That's
I'm saying
a lot
is
of
like
movies.
they would have like the movies they've got now with like Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker, and then like they start like an Ultimate Spider-Man movie that's got like a Miles Morales, and then they do like a Spider-Man 2099 movie where they have him, and then like eventually they have like their Avengers movie where they just get all the Spider-Mans together to fight like the Sinister Six.
and they have to call it Spider League. That's the
And
only
by,
choice they
and
have.
by the actual year 2099, there have already been a million Spider-Man.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because Sony, in their infinite wisdom, is trying to just milk the shit out of that cash cow, which I don't approve of.
A lot of us are
Yeah.
also thinking that a big reason why they're so excited to push Amazing to happen in April is because that, I believe, is when Spider-Man 2
That's when
comes
Spidey
out.
2 comes out.
So they're
Yeah.
also like bringing the character back to help promote the movie, to help
Yeah.
promote the comic.
As they do.
Inception.
Cross marketing.
So it is smart.
Maybe I'll
though,
actually
yeah.
put that sound effect in post. And if I do, now it sounds ridiculous that I'm just saying
I
it on the
disagree.
air.
No, because then you could just have a running joke where it keeps playing every time I mention it, like right now.
We'll see. Let's not
You
compare
would
them.
at that point you would have officially put more effort into this podcast than I put into it. So go for it if you want.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So let's see what else is on the table this week.
Man of
There's a
Steel.
new issue of.
Man of Steel.
Oh right. I'm going to talk about the new issue of Nova first.
Good
It's
call.
just one tiny little thing. You know who showed up at the end of this week's Nova issue?
Yes!
Sparky.
Tell them.
Beta Ray Bill.
Beta Ray Bill!
Yeah. Yeah.
What did you call him? Horse Thor?
Horse Thor. Thorse.
Horse!
So I'll spare you the gruesome details, Sparky.
No, I already know what it is.
tell them
He
that
shows
I'm
up
like-
with his fucking Nordic accent, and he's like, "I'm Thor, but I'm a horse. Let me save you." Then he's broken his shit, and he's like, "Don't worry, everything's better now."
No.
And then he flies the fuck off to go be Horse Thor.
No. So, fucking
those of you
Sam,
at home.
flying around in his Nova costume, flies into some intergalactic conflict and accidentally sides with the wrong people. And so
She's
word
a
gets
kid.
back
Yeah.
to, like, this intergalactic league or whatever.
That Beta Ray Bill is a part of.
And yeah, we see the guy. There's a guy talking to Beta Ray Bill, but Beta Ray Bill's off screen. We don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
it's him.
Okay.
But the guy's talking, and he's like, "So this Nova kid intervened with our ships and screwed up some shit for us, and we think he's working with the enemy." And then it cuts to, like, Beta Ray Bill, and he's like, "I'll take care of it." And that's the end of the issue. So it's like the
big reveal.
Next issue is Beta Ray Bill time.
Wait, you know why I hate Beta Ray Bill?
Because he's so fucking silly.
That, and also he was literally created because, and I can't for the life of me remember the writer who created him, but
I
they-
can find out, I'm sure.
yeah, they asked him in an interview why he created Beta Ray Bill, like what his purpose
Yeah.
was, and he's like, "Well, I wanted to have someone who was like Thor, but
But
not
I couldn't
Thor."
use Thor.
Yeah, but he couldn't use Thor.
Even though he has the same costume
exactly.
as Thor.
Yeah, and I can't.
He was created by Walt Simonson.
Why?
Surprising
What
no way.
happened?
As well as like a third of the other Marvel.
He had a dream.
I wanted to start fresh, and I thought a new character would be the way to go on that. My thinking was that comics are a short form, and one of the things that's mostly true about comic characters are what they look like. I designed Bill deliberately as a monster, because I knew that people would look at it and go, "Oh my god, it's this evil guy."
and dressed him like Thor.
Just exactly. There's a lot more to that, but I'm not going to
Yeah.
get into that. That's not
Yeah,
interesting
that's
enough. But
not interesting.
he was actually in a fucking movie at one point. He was in Planet Hulk.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's awesome.
What happens is in the movie of, I don't know, there must have been rights issues. In Planet Hulk, the comic, it's not, in the movie, which is actually a pretty good adaptation of the comic.
One of the more faithful ones.
One of Hulk's last gladiator matches is up against Beta Ray Bill. In the comic, it's a really badass cameo by Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
And
A
Silver
fellow Annihilator.
because they come up with like these gladiatorial names for all of them. Like
Yeah.
they're calling Hulk the Green Scar for a long time. When you see Silver Surfer, you're like, dude, that's fucking Silver Surfer. But the crowd's chanting like the Silver Savage, and he has a mace and he uses
Silver
his
Savage.
surfboard as a shield. And the whole time he's just like, "Oh, it's the Hulk," and Hulk is like, "Silver Surfer," in not Batman voice. Because Hulk knows Silver Surfer. They've done crossovers, and he actually is okay
They've
with
seen
Surfer.
each other,
Yeah, but both of them have, because it's the story part. Both of them have like these discs that kind of force them
and they
to
have
fight.
to fight. Yeah.
Hulk can kind of resist because of his bullshit, but he's
'Cause
like,
he's the Hulk.
yeah, he's like, "Surfer, we need to do this," and he's like, "Yeah, we do," but and they start just fighting. And at one moment, Hulk forgets and just starts beating him. You're like, "Oh my god."
You need to
Oh
calm
my
down,
god!
Hulk.
Silver Surfer might die. Is that possible? Silver Surfer might, and then
But he can't die. He
And
has
then-
to be
yeah.
eaten by Galactus, then pooped into an egg to become the new Galactus.
exactly. The cool part
That's
is
literally
like,
how each Galactus is born, by the way.
he ends up breaking like the obedience disc thing that's on Surfer, and Surfer in turn frees them. And so as they escape, he goes to Hulk and he's like, "Look, you once asked me long, long, long ago, or whatever." He's
Yeah.
just like, "If I could take you into space, you could be truly alone." And he goes, "If you want, I can take you back to Earth or anywhere you want. And Hope literally just goes, nope. I'm going to stay here. I'm in too many fun shenanigans here. I'm staying here. I was supposed to be by myself, but fuck it, this is more entertaining. He's like, okay, flies away.
Except for 2 years later when World War Hulk happened.
And then, Surfer is watching the sidelines going, I could have helped it.
I could have.
Galactus!
Yeah.
Galactus!
So in the for our last news item of the day, because we are running short on time, as we always do here in Comics Coffee. The biggest news of the day, and probably the biggest news of the week from a comic/movie standpoint, is that the Man of Steel sequel has been pushed back to 2016.
It's the same month and day, isn't it? It's just back by a year.
No, it's
I did not know that.
It's pushed 10 months. So
okay, so not quite a year.
Yeah. But it's going to be May or April 2016, and now it's going to be released on the same day as a Phase 3 Marvel film.
That is as of yet unannounced.
We don't know which one, but that is a release date they're planning for that. If I had to hazard a guess, I would say Cap 3 or Thor 3, as I was telling Jake earlier.
Sure.
Because we're going to have the Avengers next summer, and then Ant-Man in the fall.
Yes.
And that leaves what for the next year?
Mm-hmm.
I would assume.
Actually, no, it'll probably be Doctor Strange.
A lot of people
It could be Doctor Strange, but I don't know
Strange or Black Panther.
I don't know if they're going to want to do... My thinking is, if I were them, I wouldn't want to do two new ones back-to-back,
No, they have to...
I'd want to stagger them and do the Avengers, because people know about that. Then we'll do Ant-Man, people don't know about it. Then we'll do Captain, people know about it. Then we'll do Doctor Strange, people don't.
Sure. Go back and forth.
Get it, coin flip it a little bit.
But see, the reason I would think is Doctor Strange is because the past 2 weeks, there's been a fuck ton of Doctor Strange news.
Well,
we know
a lot of people
who's
are
playing
thinking it's going
Doctor
to be.
Strange.
A lot of people want
writing
it to be Johnny Depp.
Well, it could be Doctor Strange,
It's not.
but I'll tell you what.
That's fine.
What's his
Is
fucking
it-
name? John Hammond? Not John Hammond. It's
Johnny
we
Hammond.
know the actor who's playing Doctor Strange.
Seriously?
It was announced.
Seriously?
Yeah,
They're doing
Johnny
legit-
Depp was in talks about. To do
They're
it with
actually
somebody
doing a
else.
Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah, they've been saying they're going to do it for a while.
There was a rumor forever. That's interesting.
I could have sworn I saw an article that was like this actor is playing Doctor
That's cool.
Strange.
I'm looking into it, but
I do want to quick mention, because I don't think we talked about this on the podcast, by the way. It got announced that Paul Rudd, who was going to be an Ant-Man, is not going to be Hank Pym.
No.
He is, for a long time, I remember reading, Edgar Wright, who was directing it, didn't want to do
Hank Pym.
He wanted to do the second Ant-Man, Scott Lang, who, I don't know really why, but whatever. So they hired on Michael Douglas to be Hank Pym, and is going to be passing on the Ant-Man suit and powers to Scott Lang, who will be Paul Rudd, which I think makes a bit more sense, because I think, the few things I've read about Scott Lang, he's a bit more Paul Rudd-esque, that more style of, can be serious, but has, more humor.
Yeah.
But either way, I'm interested, and I thought I read an article saying that Rashida Jones actually is been in talks or something. For a possible Wasp.
That'd be delightful.
Which I'd be fine with. But then I like the other rumor that you said with
Lizzie Kaplan.
Yes, I'd be perfect
I'd like
for
that
as
too.
well.
I like that one a lot.
But anyway,
there is no official word on Doctor Strange happening, but there are apparently a ton of rumors swirling about Johnny Depp and John Hamm being looked at.
John
that's
Hamm,
what it was.
okay.
So
That's the guy from Mad Men, right?
yeah, that's Mad Men guy.
And if you look at the past track
sorry.
record for when these...
That could be cool.
the past fucking year that Marvel's been like, we're in talks with these people about something, and it's always one or two people, and then we find out what character it is, and then they announce it's one of those fucking people.
Yeah,
Well,
I think it stands to reason that Doctor Strange will probably have.
They also announced they've been in talks with Katie Sackhoff, which would be
For some reason,
awesome.
yeah.
Me and one of my friends / teachers, when we heard that she was in talks, both me and him went, "Oh, dude, Miss Marvel."
Yeah.
Because she looks like she could be Miss Marvel and could be Miss Marvel, which would be
Now, here posits the question: if Doctor Strange was in fact the movie they had slotted for that release, and they were maybe looking at Captain or Thor 3 in the fall of that year, do they flip-flop that now because Man of Steel is in that release date, and maybe put a known commodity up against Man of Steel?
Probably.
It's not a bad idea, yeah.
Because
Probably.
let's get real here. Superman versus Batman is going to beat Doctor Strange.
Yes.
If
Easily.
that happens, if they release Doctor Strange on that weekend, they're conceding defeat. Now, they're probably taking a few ticket sales away from Batman Superman from the smart people like us who know which movie's going to be better.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Batman Superman's going to win that. Now, Batman Superman still probably wins if it's Captain America 3, but
not
it's
by as
closer.
much. Yeah.
Because that's the end. Not only it's the end of a trilogy, it's, as you said, a known commodity.
A known commodity.
One
that
that's been
Marvel
really successful for them,
will
too.
stick
Yeah.
behind. And, Winter Soldier is probably going to be awesome.
I'm really
No
looking
reason
forward
it
to Winter
shouldn't be.
Soldier.
People will probably be fairly hyped after that. And
Looks
after
like we're getting
what will
that
likely
plus
be a
Shield
great
movie.
Avengers 2. We're making a lot of assumptions because this is 2 years in the future we're talking
Yeah.
about here. But
Listen, it's comic books. You make assumptions.
Yeah.
Plus, right now, Marvel has movies planned up to 2021 right now.
yeah.
And we still don't know.
They've got a big roadmap.
Yeah, again, like they haven't announced all of those other ones, but that's interesting.
So but that was something that just occurred to me a little bit ago, is that by moving by
swapping
moving
that.
Superman 2 to that release date, they may have
Fuck up
gotten
Marvel
Marvel
plans.
to change their minds about something.
Yeah.
And this far into the future, it's pretty easy to just switch release dates around. Both
Yes.
When
if
production
Doctor
probably hasn't
Strange
started on.
yeah, Doctor Strange and Cap 3 or Thor 3, those are both in pre-production, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So, at this point, it'd be really easy to just be like, all right, we're going to put that one there instead. Like,
Done.
Yeah.
done. Just,
Move the sticky note.
move slightly faster on this one than you were planning to, you know?
Mm.
But, it wouldn't be hard at all. And I think if I'm Marvel, that's the no-brainer move, is I'm going to put Captain or Thor in that spot instead of Doctor Strange or whatever the fuck else I had planned for that. Unless it's Iron Man 4. If you've got Iron Man 4 in the tank, I would put that on that day.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're planning on doing
that's
that.
happening.
I don't think they're going to get RDJ to do anything more than the next
Avengers 2 and
movies.
3, yeah.
And I think he's tapping out.
He said he wanted to only stay as long as he was, he
But
doesn't
he,
want to outstay his
he's,
welcome. But he loves the
signed on to
character.
do 3 more, like, at least appear in 3 more movies.
Yeah.
He said
So-
he's for sure in 2 and 3 of
Yeah,
Avengers.
so it'll probably be like a bit part in another movie.
I'm
Well,
hoping we're getting the cameo in Guardians.
He could definitely show up in Guardians,
That's
especially
probably
because in
what
the
it'll be.
current Guardians comic, he's
Iron
been a
Man's
part of
there,
things.
yeah.
So.
If we see the space armor in the movie,
Yeah.
dude, I will flip my shit.
Well, and putting Tony Stark in the Guardians movie would do a lot of favors to get people into that theater.
Oh, yeah.
Because let's get real, that's not going to be a huge
No, that's
attraction.
their big risk movie.
Yeah, this is the big scary one for
Yeah.
Marvel to see. Like,
The
all
first
right,
one.
we've got the biggest dick in Hollywood right now. Let's
Let's
nut
slap
out
a bitch
and,
with it.
and see how much we can get away with. You know, like,
Let's go jack off on Hollywood Boulevard and see who stops us.
so that'll be interesting.
And on that note,
No, one last
If
thing.
you got a thing for it,
is-
go for it.
It's still related to possible casting. Fucking The Rock is talking.
Fucking The Rock.
Yeah, he's talking to Marvel about something also.
was it Marvel or DC?
DC.
Oh no, it's DC. Sorry,
He
yeah.
was DC.
I've heard talks that Jason Momoa and The Rock are both
I'm more interested in
looking into.
For something.
Jason.
And the scary thing I've heard is that is that Jason Momoa and Aquaman have been linked, and I don't think I like that.
what?
I don't think I like that at all.
I don't like
and
that
I
don't
have.
know who Jason Momoa is.
He's Khal Drogo from Game of Thrones.
He's also the new Conan the Barbarian. Which
He's-
I really
you're
want to
not
see.
helping.
He's like a big, muscly, like Samoan guy.
Yeah.
And
And his last name is what?
Momoa.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Samoa,
And,
and I was
he's
like,
got
really?
like he's got like like dark hair and
really
like,
long, and
really
he looks like,
intimidating features.
Yeah.
But
He looks like a warrior.
Obviously, it's.
but he
not
doesn't
right.
look like Aquaman.
No, he doesn't look a thing like Aquaman.
This furthers my suspicion that they're going to make the next the Man of Steel movie about all the villains, and then the Justice League movie is going to be Darkseid.
Yeah, well, and maybe this is just rumors out of the ether because there's
Yeah.
nothing, there's no foundation to any of this shit. But it's
Yeah.
just like that's the bare minimum of what I've heard is that he and Aquaman might be.
Somehow can Black Manta.
Black Manta.
I think you can probably find better. Now, see, I did hear that. This was not from anything. This is just like a comment someone made. They're like, I don't see him as Aquaman, but he'd probably make a
Yeah.
bitch in Black Manta.
He'd be
And I'm
a
like,
cool
you're
Black
fucking
Manta.
right. He would.
He could be a really
Jason
badass
Momoa
Black
as Black Manta, I can get behind.
Yeah,
that would
perfectly
be
fine.
cool. But then we're just talking about like, let's just fucking make an Aquaman movie. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think the world is ready for an Aquaman.
I don't think you're gonna
don't
stick
think we're
Black
ever gonna
Manta
be ready.
in Superman versus Batman or
No.
whatever
No.
we're gonna call it. Like,
shows up as the major whatever.
now, see, this is the
I
reason
am
I would want
Black
those
Manta.
movies to
Yeah.
succeed, though, is that so we maybe could get some Aquaman and Flash movies. You know,
Sure.
Those are your
maybe a
guns,
better
then?
shot at Green Lantern.
Yeah, just anything, anything. Just shit on the screen and it'll be better.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Like literally?
Just- no. All right. Yeah.
All right,
not
so
a-
we should probably wrap this
Let's
up.
hear
We're at time, so another exciting edition of Comics
Yeah.
Copies in the books. Books. 'Cause
I like
comics.
it.
I didn't even do
All
that on
have
purpose.
The best punch I've ever played.
I'm going to make that happen. I'm
Yeah.
going to force that every episode. from on
Okay.
out.
Okay.
All right,
I'll
so-
get you a book.
Starting on my left,
Mitch!
Jake.
and I am Andrew. Thank you for tuning into Comics and Coffee. Stay tuned at Work in Progress for another exciting episode of Work in Progress next week. Another exciting episode of Comics and Coffee, and hopefully the first episode of Movies and Milkshakes, which I'm going to go
That's
ahead
the
and call
working
that.
title.
Also, keep an eye on our YouTube page because
Yes.
Mitch, our good buddy here, is
Please
working
keep an
on those
eye.
new
I'm
episodes.
trying. I'd like to try and get one a week. I can't promise that because my schedule is getting crazier by the minute. But I'm definitely trying to pick back up on it.
Check us on Facebook.
Episode
Check us out on,
two's up
Face-
right now,
on
so,
YouTube.
Yeah. Second episode is on YouTube. So check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Vine, Twitter. We're all over the place.
Tell your friends.
So yeah, from